firestorm of pain erupted, consuming everything in its path. But you know, this was no ordinary fire. This inferno was fueled by rage, by a toxic love twisted into a weapon of unimaginable cruelty. This is the story of the burning case, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can fester within the human heart. It's a story of a life extinguished, of a family shattered, and of a community left reeling in shock and disbelief. In the annals of Australian crime, the burning case stands as a stark testament to the devastating impact of domestic violence. It's a story that must be told, not to sensationalize the horrific act, but to shed light on a pervasive issue that continues to plague our society. It is a story that demands our attention, our empathy, and our unwavering commitment to ending the cycle of violence. The burning case is more than just a crime. It's a mirror reflecting the darkest aspects of human nature. It's a wake-up call, urging us to confront the uncomfortable realities of domestic violence and to take action to protect the vulnerable. This is a story about the victims, the survivors, and the families forever marked by the flames of violence. But most importantly, it is a story about hope. Hope for a future free from fear, where love does not burn, but heals. Flames engulfed a modest family home, shattering the tranquility of a suburban night. Neighbors, startled from their sleep, watched in horror. Inside, a young woman, barely more than a girl herself, was trapped in a nightmare of unimaginable proportions. Her name was Sarah, and she would become forever etched in the collective memory as the victim of the burning case. The crime scene was one of unspeakable brutality. Sarah's body, charred beyond recognition, lay amidst the smoldering debris. The air was thick with the acrid stench of smoke and burnt flesh, a grim testament to the ferocity of the blaze. Initial reports suggested a tragic accident, a fire that had spiraled out of control. But as investigators began to sift through the ashes, a far more sinister narrative began to emerge. The perpetrator was no stranger. He was Mark, Sarah's husband, the man who had vowed to love and cherish her. But somewhere along the way, love had curdled into obsession, control, and ultimately, murderous rage. Mark's carefully constructed facade of grief crumbled under the weight of forensic evidence, revealing the chilling truth behind Sarah's demise. He had doused her in petrol, a volatile cocktail of hate and despair, and set her ablaze. Detective Luke Taylor, a seasoned investigator known for his unwavering determination, was assigned to the burning case. Haunted by the image of Sarah's charred remains, he vowed to uncover the truth and bring her killer to justice. The case was complex, shrouded in layers of deceit and fueled by the perpetrator's desperate attempts to cover his tracks. The investigation took Taylor deep into the labyrinthine world of domestic violence, a realm where love and violence intertwined in a deadly dance. He meticulously pieced together the fragments of Sarah's life, poring over phone records, interviewing friends and family, and scrutinizing every inch of the crime scene. Each new piece of evidence chipped away at Mark's carefully constructed alibi, revealing the true extent of his depravity. Taylor's breakthrough came in the form of a seemingly insignificant detail, a petrol can found hidden in Mark's shed. Forensic testing confirmed the presence of Sarah's DNA on the can, a damning piece of evidence that shattered Mark's claims of innocence. Confronted with the irrefutable evidence, Mark's carefully constructed facade crumbled, and he confessed to the heinous crime. Why? It's the question that echoed through the courtroom, through the grieving community, and through the minds of everyone who followed the burning case. How could a husband, a man who had vowed to love and protect his wife, commit such an act of barbarity? The answer, as is often the case in domestic violence, lay in the toxic cocktail of jealousy, obsession, and a desperate need for control. Mark, consumed by his own insecurities, had become convinced that Sarah was having an affair. Fueled by paranoia and a distorted sense of ownership over his wife, he began to monitor her every move. He hacked into her phone, stalked her social media accounts, and interrogated her friends and family. Sarah, trapped in a web of suspicion and control, found herself increasingly isolated and afraid. The suspected infidelity, whether real or imagined, became the catalyst for Mark's murderous rage. Driven by a desire to punish Sarah for her perceived betrayal and to regain control over her, Mark resorted to the most extreme form of violence, ending her life in a fiery inferno. The motive, rooted in the darkest recesses of human jealousy and possessiveness, exposed the chilling reality of domestic violence. That love, when twisted and distorted, can become a weapon of unimaginable destruction. The story of the burning case doesn't end with the resolution of the investigation. In fact, the aftermath left scars that would endure for years to come. You see, the trauma experienced by the victims and their families is something that doesn't just vanish overnight. It's a lingering shadow that affects their daily lives, their relationships, and even their sense of self. Imagine waking up every day with the weight of such an incident on your shoulders. The emotional and psychological toll is immense. Many of the victims struggled with anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The community too was left grappling with a sense of unease and distrust, wondering if something like this could happen again. For some, the trauma manifested in physical symptoms. Sleep disturbances, headaches, and other stress-related conditions became common. Therapy and counseling became a lifeline for many, offering a way to process and cope with the overwhelming emotions. Families were torn apart and friendships strained. The ripple effect of the burning case was far-reaching, touching not just those directly involved but their loved ones as well. Children who lost parents, parents who lost children, and friends who lost friends. Each story a testament to the enduring impact of the tragedy. The legal proceedings, while necessary, often reopened wounds. Courtrooms became stages for reliving the horror, and the quest for justice sometimes felt like an endless uphill battle. Yet amidst the pain, there were also stories of resilience and strength. Communities came together, offering support and solidarity in the face of adversity. Memorials and tributes were established to honor the victims, serving as poignant reminders of the lives lost and the importance of remembering. These acts of remembrance were crucial in the healing process, providing a sense of closure and a way to keep the memories of loved ones alive. In the years following the burning case, efforts were made to improve safety measures and prevent such tragedies from happening again. Policies were revised, and new protocols were put in place. While these steps were important, they could never fully erase the pain and loss experienced by so many. The legacy of the burning case is a complex one. It's a story of heartbreak and healing, of sorrow and strength. It's a reminder of the fragility of life and the resilience of the human spirit. And as we reflect on this chapter in history, let us remember the lessons learned and strive to create a safer, more compassionate world for all. Australia's battle against domestic violence has been long and arduous. Over the years, countless individuals and organizations have worked tirelessly to bring this issue to light. Despite significant progress, the fight continues as new challenges emerge and demand our attention and action. In response to the growing public outcry, the government has implemented a series of measures aimed at combating domestic violence. Policies have been enacted, funding has been allocated, and support services have been expanded. However, the effectiveness of these measures often depends on the continued pressure from the public and advocacy groups to ensure they are properly enforced and adequately resourced. You might be wondering, what can you do to help end domestic violence? Well, every action counts. By educating yourself and others, supporting local organizations, and speaking out against abusive behavior, you can make a difference. Remember, change begins with awareness and a commitment to stand against violence in all its forms. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, it is crucial to seek help immediately. There are numerous resources available, including hotlines, shelters, and counseling services. Taking action can be daunting, but it's a vital step towards safety and recovery. Remember, you are not alone and help is always available. If you wish to join the crusade to bring violence against women to the forefront, please like and subscribe.